This is a TLDR tier list for next week's Mutation. This is based on solo play because your ally is a random factor that cannot be accounted for. Also, this is based on above average co-op knowledge. Mechanical skill is not that important in co-op. Adjust these rankings based on your own knowledge and skill level. For this mutation, it's more about whether or not the Mobius hybrid is a spawner or not, because if it's a spawner, you're basically fighting extra waves constantly, and some commanders can't deal with the extra enemies that spawn. And if you're fighting a comp like Baneling Scourge or something, and they keep destroying all your army, then yeah, not gonna be easy. But for the most part, this is still a B+1, still a pretty easy mutation. So let's go. Carax, this one I suggest using P2. You will have a slow start, so you're gonna get carriers, but once you have one carrier, you chrono boost it with the third top bar, the chrono wave, and then you have a few zealots. You go out, tank the laser, and then start farming parts. Eventually, you get a huge fleet of carriers, and then nothing will stop you. Zeratul, cannons are good. That's it. You keep finding more fragments, you project cannons everywhere, and you win. Phoenix also does not care. So the thing about air comps is that, yes, it sucks, but if you are using Mojo, so if you know you're fighting an air comp, you just make more Mojos than usual, make a lot of scout shells, make more Colossi shells than usual, and just get ready to take them out. If the hybrid spawns air units, then what you do is Caldalis will just slice the Mobius hybrid to death. He'll have nothing else to stop him. So yeah. Tychus does not care. So you can just use like P0, maybe even P1, and then if you have a rattlesnake, you can heal up in between like laser shots and stuff. You can use Lone Wolf as well. Doesn't matter what you use, pretty easy. Alarak, he's good. It does suck that if he's the target of the laser, he's going to keep eating his army, so that's no good. However, if you want to use P1 and turn the eating into something positive, that's fine. If you want to use P3 and have the mothership take a few hits before switching and letting Alarak tank, that also works too. Later on, you'll have like Wrathwalkers and Ascendants and other things to help destroy the enemies, and at some point, you're going to go after the laser, right? No matter which commander you're using, you're going to go after the laser, and then you're going to spawn camp it with static D so that it doesn't deal much damage. Yeah. You want to get rid of the laser after you expand. So I would say like around the 14-minute wave to like after the 14-minute wave, before the 17-minute wave. That's the best time to get rid of the laser. Makes ESO everything, drop like units to collect the parts. And then, yeah, you can even gas the attack waves. If the hybrid spawns units, you just ESO them from afar. Nova, also same thing, you just do that. If the hybrid is a spawner, then you will airstrike them before going in. You do have to be a little careful, I suppose, but you can still deal with them for the most part. You have to be a little more careful than usual. For every other comp, you just like walk over them. Dahaka, Creeper Host, don't care. And Primal Worms, deep tunnel them into combat. Abathur is a little worse than usual because it takes a little while to get the first Brutalist. It's kind of hard to farm with the laser and long range. So what you do is you make 2 Spore Crawlers and you lure a little bit, just as much as you can, and then the first wave comes, and hopefully you get 1 Brutalist. Once you have 1 Brutalist, you can start getting Swarm Hosts, and once you have enough Swarm Hosts, the game is over. Kerrigan is same here. She's going to be focused on a lot, so you're going to be really busy. And if you're fighting against air, I suppose you can use P3. You can also like mass mutas. It depends what you're fighting. Against certain comps, mass air is going to be a problem. Getting focused is also not great. The laser, yeah. The laser is going to be pointed at you for a lot of the time, so you're going to have to go back and heal quite a lot. Oh, you can also pop an Omega, let it take some shots, or like go in Omega and go out and then continue fighting. Overall, I'd say She's still really good. Just a little bit concerned about like spawners and some enemy comps. Zagara, super easy. You F2A. You can even use P1. And if they have a spawner, it doesn't matter. The enemies will disappear, and then you continue chewing with links. Artanis is not so great because Artanis, man, you need enough units before you can push out. Later on, with long range, they will hit you before you hit them, so you can get like Tempest and stuff. But yeah, against each attack wave, you can drop Archons, and then later on you use Shield Overcharge. Although later on you probably want Shield Overcharge to help you push into bases, not just defend against waves. Swan, I don't like Swan for this one because like the laser, it's really annoying early on when you have very few units. You can't rely only on factory stuff. So you like factory can do some stuff, but it's not gonna be enough, and you're gonna need wraiths at some point. But you're not gonna have many wraiths before you're kind of forced to move out. So you do have cloak, I guess that helps. But if you're not fighting Terran, then they're gonna send detectors. Especially if they're Protoss, you can't even see their detectors and fight back. So they might hit you before you even realize what's happening. So it takes a little bit longer than usual. Also, spawners gonna be quite problematic because yeah, if you're fighting a comp that fights back, like towering walkers, disruptive artillery aren't really good against air. But if you're fighting a comp that has good anti-air, spawner is gonna be a problem. Vorazun, same thing. It's like against Terran, it's easier. Against other races, it's just less easy. Not terrible. No one's gonna be lower than B because they're still fine. It's just some comps can be a headache. Han and Horner is actually pretty good because you can strike them before they strike you, and you can spawn camp the sides the places or the spawn points with mag mines. You can also use strike fighters to collect parts. So all of these things are advantageous, and with enough Reapers, you can kind of like just let the laser hit one and then it'll die, but it'll have to retarget, and the laser has to spend some time retargeting. So that's good for you. Stedman doesn't care. So F2A, yeah. Stukov, P3, F2, or not even F2, just point the side emitter, eventually you win. And Raynor is down here because he's Raynor. You need battle cruisers, and then you need something to like stall the laser, and later on, after you destroy the laser, it'll be a lot easier, and you'll have more battle cruisers as well. If you want to use bio, I suppose that's fine, but you need to have a big enough army before you go out. And if you're using bio and the enemy is a spawner, that's a problem. No matter what comp you're facing, you're gonna lose units, and that's no good. You might even mine out because if you're going bio, you're gonna suffer a lot of losses. So yeah, hopefully not a spawner at least. That's it for this tier list. You can extrapolate this info to your duel runs. Good luck with the mutation.